I just wanted to thank my Manual family for giving me the opportunity to do these Wednesday words with you. My name is Allison White, and I'm joined on Zoom with my grandmother Joy Maughan. And we are going to be talking about how God is with us for these Wednesday words.
God is with us, and I'm so happy that you are on the East Coast and with us also, Allison.
I am too.
God is with us was what Rika announced as being the theme. And one of the first things that came to my mind was a poem that I was introduced to years and years and years ago, too many years ago, by St. John of the Cross. The Virgin comes along the road. And the concept there that stayed with me and is still with me is that part of what Advent is all about is that we each have an opportunity to give birth to the Christ child as we experience the Christ child now. And the most forgiving part of this tradition is that we also get to have a new one each year. The Christ child comes to us in a different way each year. And that meant a lot to me, and still means a lot to me, that a new understanding of the Christ comes to me.
Well, and I think one of the most important messages from that poem is kind of the expectation and the waiting and the making room. Things will happen if you make room for them and you allow them to happen. And God will be with us if we make room for him and allow him to be with us.
That's good.
And so kind of going into my experiences of feeling God with me and among my family, my friends, is I have been involved in therapeutic horseback riding programs since I was in high school. And I will never forget the first time that I looked at one of those students and get on a horse and the biggest smile they had on their face. And I knew that this was God at work. And this was me being able to share my love, my passion with other people and seeing how it helps them from learning to walk again, from kind of their confidence building as they learn how to control and work with this big animal. And I just feel kind of in my happy place, and I feel that I see God's work and God with us when I am working with these students and with these magnificent animals. Another place I have always felt God with us is when we're singing in church. The hymns, the spirit, the movement there, even from early ages when I was in kind of the children's choir and singing in Sunday school, it's always been kind of where I felt at my most holy. And I felt God with us. And then coming home to my Manual family, I always just feel surrounded by love.
I am not as musically effective as you are, but hymns have been part of the way God speaks to me for my whole life.
Yeah.
Even before my Episcopal tradition, hymns were very important to me. So I certainly understand that. Seeing the joy on a child's face as they become aware of more than they thought they were is part of what I experienced also. And every Advent, I look forward to understanding myself in a bigger, broader, more important way.
Another thing, Grandma Joy, you had mentioned was kind of watching other people experience God in their own lives. And that was one way that you feel God with you.
Yes, it was. And we had the experience of being in Ohio for 15 years. One of the things there that was an Advent message for me was the bishop there, Mark Hollingsworth, told us that God loves us. No, God loves us no matter what. And that was too big a message of anticipation and expectation to take in 1 year, but I certainly have enjoyed it several years since. God loves you, no exceptions. The exceptions are mine, not God's. I see things all the time in this world that I think, oh, that's awful. And then I remember that.
Yeah. And so another thing was we had talked about kind of watching other people experience God and have experiences with God.
Yes.
And that's another way that we can kind of see God with us and see God at work and understand kind of even more about this expectation and allowing God to enter our lives and making room for him.
I look forward to the Christmas message this year. I'm very thankful for all of the people at Emmanuel who are helping us cope with who we are right now in order to meet the Christ on the road, the Virgin on the road, ready to give birth. And the anticipation of that is exciting.
Yes, it is.
And scary.
As always, I feel like with anticipation comes some fear,
Yeah.
but hopefully it's a hopeful kind of fear and fearing the unknown, but being ready to conquer it.
Yeah.
And knowing that we have the support and the love from God and from each other.
Yes.
Kind of tying all of those themes in of God loves us no matter what, even when we're scared of the future and what's to come.
That's Advent, isn't it?
Yep.
And that's the journey on the road, all seasons of the year.
All right. And just kind of to wrap up our Wednesday words, I think some of the things that we've taken away from our conversations on the subject of God with us is that we need to remain open and willing to accept God into our lives and kind of seeing where other people are experiencing God and being aware of those interactions and those experiences and trying to help support people as they navigate their own way through Advent and through life. Kind of helping people realize this hope and this anticipation.
We wanted to share this poem that my grandmother Joy referenced in the beginning of our Wednesday words, and I just wanted to thank my Emmanuel family for giving me and my grandmother Joy this opportunity to share these Wednesday words with you. I'm looking forward to the Christmas Eve service. Bye.